Texas League Baseball is next. And a good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome you into our Friday night baseball game. And now here's the star of the show, the one and only John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and hello, everybody. We welcome you into our live Friday night broadcast of Texas League Baseball. It is the fourth game of our six-game set between the visiting Frisco RoughRiders and your Flying Chanclas. Well, I've got to say, tonight is Flying Chancla $2 night as here at the ballpark. That means all beverages like Dr. Pepper, our proud sponsor, and Coca-Cola, and any soft drink in our concession stands, just $2. Series continues tomorrow night, 7:05 our first pitch, as we'll have post-game fireworks. Sunday, celebrate Mom's Day as we take out your mom to the ball game, and got to say, pretty good day on that, as we celebrate Mother's Day. Well, go online now at samissions.com, purchase and print your tickets from home. We'll also follow the missions all season long with the First Pitch app from Minor League Baseball. And you can download that in any smartphone and watch us Tuesday through Sundays here on YouTube Live as we get things off to a pretty good start this season. Well, anyway, after the Mother's Day special, as we have the San Antonio Missions one last time taking on the Frisco RoughRiders. We'll have our 1:05 first pitch, and after that game, Missions pack their bags and they head out of town as they travel to West Texas to take on the Midland Rockhounds starting Tuesday through Sunday. Missions being back home on Tuesday, May 20th, as we take on the Minnesota Twins affiliation, Wichita Wind Surge. I'm pretty good on that. We're going to have a pretty good next homestand as we get things going. Well, anyway, joined in the booth by my partner, Bob. And Bob, it's always good to see you as is. Good to see you too, John, and a happy weekend. And how was your birthday? Pretty good there, Bob. It was a pretty good day yesterday. And we got a lot more to celebrate. Yeah, you sure do. You got the weekend coming, and we got the baseball games coming in. And pretty much you are off to the ranch tomorrow, right? That's right. Our proud sponsor is West Creek Trail Rides. Join us Tuesday through Sunday as we have horseback riding, which it is a lovely experience. Gotta love horseback riding. And so far, pretty good on that as well. Yeah, I need to go horseback riding myself. How much is it? And so far, what can you tell about it? Well, got to say, Bob, the cost of horseback riding there at West Creek is $50. That's a reasonable price. But if you do it online, it'll be $53. Well, it's $3 for the courtesy fee, and so far everything goes to the owner, Lana, and so far it's going to be pretty good. I got to say, John, it sounds good too. So where do we go to do these online and stuff? Well, the website is www.westcreektrailrides.com, and you visit their online website, and you are good to go. And choose any time you want. Or just call Lana at the 210 number. Okay, so pretty cool. And so far, thank you for sharing that with us today, huh, John? Yeah, my pleasure. Well, anyway, the fourth game of six between the Frisco RoughRiders and the Flying Chanclas. This will be our last time, but the Flying Chanclas until Thursday, May 22nd and 23rd, as we get things rocking and rolling. Well, anyway, we got a lot of clouds tonight as we get started with this fourth game of this 6 games against the RoughRiders. And so far, pretty good on that. Anyway, for Midland, San Antonio will be in town for the 6 games. And I do believe the Frisco RoughRiders. Yes, Bob, go ahead and pull up the schedule for the RoughRiders when they get back home to their town. And let's see, I do believe that the RoughRiders are taking on the Corpus Christi Hooks starting Tuesday through Sunday this next week. So RoughRider fans, homestand will start Tuesday, May 13th, taking on Corpus Christi. And so far, that game is 11:05 a.m. So pretty good right there as to get things started. So Midland, the Rockhounds taking on San Antonio. That's going to be a morning game as well on Tuesday. And so far, going to be pretty nice. A 6-game set there in Midland. And so far, I do believe Corpus Christi will head to Amarillo. Or I guess head to Amarillo. I don't know where they are, but let's see, the 20th, they'll be taking on Amarillo. Okay, so I guess that'd be pretty good as well. Well, anyway, we're about set to go here in the top of the first inning for the RoughRiders as we get going. And yes, we are about set for baseball here this fine evening. Well, anyway, we'll be right back after our commercial messages. And thank you, Bob, for the... are we missing something? I think we are missing something. But anyway, last night, Frisco winning 12-7. And yes, I did forget about that. And I do apologize. As if I do forget something, we will give a pause in our broadcast after the half inning is over, and we will be good. Well, anyway, the Missions are now taking the field as we'll get started with the 4th game of 6 on this Friday night. So join us because we got weekend baseball here today. So far, we are 3 more games left of this homestand. And yeah, so far, going to be a pretty good night thus far tomorrow evening and through Mother's Day as well. Right-hander Isaiah Lowe will get the start for San Antonio. And what do we know, Bob? The 4-seam, the slider, changeup, and a 2-seam fastball. But his option is the 4-seamer.
For Frisco, the second baseman.
Second baseman leading off for Frisco is Cameron Cawley as he leads it off for the RoughRiders as we get set to go. Here's the first pitch and ready. And that one, oh my goodness. That one high, and that one is a bomb. A first pitch home run, and Frisco by Cameron Cawley take the lead. Boy, and they really hit the ball really nicely done for Cawley. Well, RoughRiders up early head by 1-0. And boy, they have really struck hard. They get it going first here. 349 foot with a 95-mile-per-hour exit velocity, which that was really good on the hitting. Number 2 batter, Kellen Strom, leads things off. As that is taken in for a strike, it's 0-1 to the center fielder. Rough Riders wearing their gray uniforms, Frisco inscribed on the chest. Missions wearing their flying chancla uniforms. Right there, that is it, the first to Castañon, and he has it for the out.
First baseman, Avi Malek.
With that, let's give the Frisco starting lineups. Cauley, Strom, and Ortiz will lead it off tonight. Zavala, Rodriguez, and Galan will be the middle three. Smith, Biggers, and Mitchell will round out the batting order for the Frisco Rough Riders. Rough Riders first baseman Abimelech Ortiz coming in now. One away, nobody on. And that is a strike inside. And it's the count now, 0-1. Sun and clouds mix this evening. The ball goes foul. There's a combination of probably going to be a nice sunset when we get the reflection off those clouds. Slow roller hit into second by Cedeno will give it to Castañon for out number 2.
Zavala.
Well, that'll bring up Rough Riders right fielder Aaron Zavala. Zavala coming in, ready to go. 1-0 Frisco early on. With a leadoff batter getting that home run to left field. That was pretty impressive. First pitch hit, it's out of the ballpark right there and in for a strike. It's 0-2. Well, I got to say, John, that hitter will really come in. And boy, I tell you one thing, pretty good. That's over the head of the shortstop, right into left. And Fabian will get it to Cedeno. And that's a 2-out single. Zavala getting on first base and doing pretty good. Flying Chanclas will return on Thursday, May 22nd and Friday, May 23rd. As pretty much we are going to see them guys in their uniforms again. Just absolutely love the colors. Red, yellow, blue, white. It's like Easter and stuff. That one high fly in the air. Salas has his eyes on it, and that will do for the half inning. But Cameron Cauley will get the solo shot. So a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on for Frisco. We head to the bottom of the first. The Rough Riders up early, 1-0. We're back here as we head to the bottom of the first inning. San Antonio coming to bat. About ready for the bottom of the first right now for the Missions Baseball Network. Well, thank you, Bob. We are here as the right-hander Winston Santos getting the call. It was a four-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and a two-seamer as well. Taking the mound for Frisco to lead off the bottom of the first in the pitching duties. Well, anyway, here is the left fielder, Albert Fabian, as he gets ready to go here this evening. Here's the pitch by Santos. That one is high fly in the air up to right center, and the right fielder will make the grab, and there's one down. Let's give the visiting, or should I say, major look. Let's give the home team starting lineups. And so far, Fabian, Salas, and Mears will be the leadoff three. Castañon, Campbell, and Roederer will be the middle three. Rojas, Cedeno, and DeVries round out the batting order for San Antonio this evening. Catcher Ethan Salas coming in, one down and nobody on. Bottom of the first inning as we get going. So yeah, getting pretty better. I know the last couple of days have been real stutteriness. Yeah, I know. You've been pretty out of whack the past couple of days with a lot of stutteriness. Yeah, I know. But evidently, choose your words wisely. Here's the 0-2. That is right there out of play and foul. Well, tonight's ball clubs, we'll go ahead and give that to you. We got Midland at Corpus Christi, Frisco at San Antonio. And that's right there, right up to right field, a base hit. The first baseman misses it. We got Springfield at Arkansas, Tulsa at Amarillo, Wichita at Northwest Arkansas. So far, here is the center fielder, Joshua Mears, as he takes that one high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, absolutely got to love baseball. One of the best games that there ever is. And come out to the ball game. Join us. We got plenty of seats available on this beautiful Friday night. Partly cloudy skies and temperature at 79 degrees. We've had the rain last night, which evidently we had a late night start. Our game was started at 8:30 and didn't end until 11:45. That one right there is ball three. So the count now 3-1. Marcos Castañon coming in. That one is in for a strike, and that loads up the count at 3-2. So far, a lot of clouds. We should see a pretty good sunset tonight. And that's going to be a liner straightaway left, and that's a base hit. Shortstop tries to get it, but evidently fails to do so, and there is the first and second bases. Now they got the runners on base. Pretty good here as San Antonio trying to get on. RoughRiders have the lead advantage now, 1-0 by the leadoff batter, Cauley. That one, liner foul. And the count now 0-1 to Castañon. You know, yellow, pink, blue, and white for the Flying Chancla uniform. Tomorrow night missions are back to their normal white uniforms. So going to be a pretty good night thus far. That's a liner straight away in the center, and that's a base hit. Base is now loaded. And pretty good on that.
Number 7.
Now all they need is to whack it over the fence, and that's the first San Antonio Grand Slammer. 3 singles that puts the bases loaded. Right fielder Jacob Campbell coming in, as that's a strike inside. It's the count now 0-1. Campbell at a average 219 over a 342 He's had a lot of home runs thus far for San Antonio for the year 2025. He's been really good. Here's pitch. Right there and in. A strike, and it's 1-2. And a pitch. That one is high, pop up. Right there. And here comes the run. And they are in to score. They tie it up. Sacrifice fly. And RoughRiders and San Antonio tied at 1.
The designated hitter.
Designated hitter Cole Roederer coming in now for San Antonio. Here's a pitch. That is in for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Our proud broadcast brought to you apart by Dr. Pepper. But tomorrow night's fireworks show after the ball game will be phenomenal as we all look at it. That is right there as he broke the plane. And the count now 1-2. 2 out, 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. We're tied at 1. And the pitch. That one right there and out of play as it will go out of the ballpark. And it goes foul. So a pretty good night if San Antonio could get a win. And right there's called third strike and they get them down looking. A run in to score on 4 hits, I think. Nope, it is 3. I was right the first time. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on. And we head to the second inning for Frisco. It's 1-1 tie. Yosi Galan will lead it off. Top of the second inning when we go. Top of the second inning for the RoughRiders here on the San Antonio Missions Baseball Network. Well, thank you, Bob. And here we go. Yosi Galan coming in now for Frisco. Here's the pitch by Lowe, and that is high fly, out of play, foul. And it's 0-1. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss right there. And that's down and in for a called strike, 0-2. Lowe is doing exceptionally well. He's start of the second inning with 13 pitches, and that's going to be right there. They get a strikeout, and that will be a runner there at first on the wild pitch.
Marcus Smith.
So the designated hitter is Marcus Smith. Before the first pitch, he'll throw to first, and he's back in standing. Pretty good right there as they try to get that guy on a pickoff. And again, making sure he's over there. Here's the pitch, and that is high in the air. Campbell getting under it, makes the grab. They're one away.
Batting eighth, the shortstop, Jax Biggers.
Shortstop is Jax Biggers. He comes in now. I'll tell you one thing, that RoughRiders won 12-7 last night. And so far, San Antonio now 4 games trailing behind. They're in third place. Midland taking the sure W against the thinking Sod Poodles or whoever they're playing. Oh, they're in Corpus Christi. Oh, that's right. Duh. Yeah, right there. Cedeno gets it. DeVries. And they got a double play. My goodness. And they get out of the half inning celebrating a Taco Bell, 2 crispy tacos right there. Every fan getting that one. As that's 2.5 innings here tonight. We're tied at 1. So Yandri Rojas, the hot corner third baseman, strikes out next. When we come back for Missions Baseball, it's a 1-1 tie. Well, we head to the bottom of the second, right now, the Missions Baseball Network. 7-hole batter, Yendry Rojas leads things off in the bottom of 2. That is in for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one high in the air, deep to left, and the left fielder runs it down and makes a complete catch for the out.
Batting 8, the second baseman, Norwillian.
No, that'll bring in the second baseman, Norwillian Cedeno, coming in for the Flying Chanclas. Now, even though this would be our last night wearing the Chancla uniforms, tomorrow evening we're back as being a part of the Mission uniforms. That one high and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Here is Santos Wano. And that is a liner, and that's a base hit. So a 1-out single keeps things going. And we're going to have an injury now as Caber Rodriguez took a bad step on that last play and feels something off in the knee. Fortunately, it appears not to be a serious injury. However, Rodriguez will need to be removed from this game.
Third base.
Okay, Blaine Grimm is getting the third base hot corner, so he will be there. But for the guy that got injured, the third base will definitely keep him in our prayers, as nothing looks serious. He'll get an MRI on it. They'll take him to the San Antonio emergency room. Our athletic trainers will come and evaluate him and see if he's okay. I mean, that would be the first step. Here is Leo Dallas DeVries. And he is strikeout looking. And there are 2 down.
The
left fielder Albert Fabian coming in as runner at first and 2 away. Here in the bottom of 2, it's a tie 1-1. This ball game is getting pretty interesting, and that's going to be line drive, and that's a base hit to center. We now got 2 aboard, so pretty interesting. Yeah, I got to say, John, it's getting really, really good. And that'll bring in the catcher, Ethan Salas, down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. 1 for 1, a single. And so far, pretty good on that. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. That one right there, now to play. That goes at foul. Yeah, the cloud's starting to get that orange color, which that is really pretty. Just absolutely love an evening. And come out and enjoy the ball game. And yes, come out and join us. We'll most certainly be glad if you do. Now, right there, that is ball 3. On deck now is center fielder Joshua Mears. 3-1 count. 1 more could load up the bases. And the pitch. That one right there. Ooh, nearly close. That could have been a ball 4, and that should have loaded things up. Three balls, 2 strikes. That's the pitch right there. Liner to the right field area. A base hit, and there it is. Bases, second time around. Getting loaded up. First in the bottom of 1, and then now bottom of 2. And they get going here. Here is center fielder Joshua Mears. Coming to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 down. Well, so far it's pretty interesting. We see 3 singles in 1 half inning alone. That one down and in. That'll even up at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Pitched by Santos. And that's in for a strike, 1-2. Well, gotta give some pretty good shout outs. We've got fans watching from Frisco, Texas. 6 miles outside of Dallas. That one outside is a ball in the count now, 2-2. Boy, a grand slam would make it 5-1. And there he goes, caught looking, and that will do it. So, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and they leave the bases loaded as we play 2 innings. On now to the third, and we're still tied at 1. Now we're back for the top of the third, straight ahead as Tucker Mitchell will lead things off. We go to the third inning for the Frisco RoughRiders, right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, Tucker Mitchell, the next man up to bat for Frisco, 9-1-2. Third inning, ready to go. Here's a pitch by Isaiah Lowe. That one is a fastball in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Starting to see a little rain showers from them clouds, right, Bob? Yeah, I gotta say, we could see a little bit more rain, but yeah, we did see a lot last night in our broadcast during that late night evening ball game. Yeah, we sure did. 0-2, right there, high fly in the air. In left center is Mears. He'll make the grab. And there's one gone.
The batter, number 4, second baseman, Cameron.
Well, the second baseman is Cameron Cawley. Solo shot to lead off the ball game. Pretty good as he just got it going, and he's going to bunt right there, and that'll be a strike. And here's the 0-1. Right there, swing and a miss. Boy, nasty changeup will get him out swinging for a strike 2. That's 0-2 the count now to Cauley. Right there. Swing and a miss. Get him down. 2 down. And that's a K.
The center field.
Boy, Isaiah Lowe got him outfooled. So Cauley did not last that long. 2 down here in the 3rd inning. Kellen Strom up to the plate. Hits that one foul. And it's 0-1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. There he goes again. And the count now 0-2. Boy, the cloud's starting to glow an orange color, right? Yeah, sure is. That one lifted high in the air up to right center. Mears has it. And there it goes for out number 3. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on base for Frisco. As we're 3.5 here tonight, it's still tied at 1. So back here as we start the bottom of the 3rd inning, Marcos Castellon will lead it off when we return. Hey, good evening from the ballpark. And yes, the weather update is we're starting to see a little bit of a rain shower here at the ballpark. And yeah, it's starting to come down, maybe a little bit. As a few little sprinkles or maybe a little shower or whatever it is. But anyway, now we're definitely seeing it. Yeah, Bob, thank you for that. For the weather update, and we are seeing some mostly cloudy skies, but clouds will move out as we start a Saturday, and so far that's going to be pretty good. Well, we are about ready to go here in the bottom of the 3rd inning here for the Missions Baseball Network as Marcos Castellon leading things off here in this half inning. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be right there. And that's getting down a base hit. The leadoff single by Castellon. And so far he is on base now. Next batter up is Jacob Campbell, the right fielder. Can't even talk tonight, but anyway, I'll get better. So the right fielder is up to the plate now. No balls and a strike to him. That one hit to the 3rd. The 2nd for 1. They relay it. Double play, and they're 2 down.
Now batting.
So a 5-4-3, and there's 2 away in the half inning. It's tied ball game at 1-1, Frisco and San Antonio. I'll tell you one thing, we're getting pretty good right there. 4-seamer outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Looked pretty good on that one. Here's a 1-0. And that's a liner. That's a center field base hit. So they go back in order and try to get something going. Yeah, I know, John. They are really trying to get something going. Here is Yendry Rojas as he comes in and takes a strike. And it's 0-1 with the line out that he had. And the pitch, that one right there out of play. And the count now 0-2. Boy, just clouds starting to glow in orange color. It's pretty amazing. And that's called third strike. And he did not hold up for the final out. So, no runs, hits, or errors, and, well, should I say a hit was involved in that. I won't say there was any hit. But anyway, no runs on a hit, no errors, and one left. And now head to the fourth inning as Abimelech Ortiz will lead it off for the RoughRiders when we come back. Well, we lead off the fourth inning now for the Rough Riders on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, Abimelech Ortiz coming in as we set to go for the top of the fourth for Frisco. Low just issued in the first strike, and it's 0-1 to Ortiz. The pitch right there, that's a liner straight away up to right, and that will be a base hit. So no out single continues this half inning. And that's going to bring in Aaron Zavala. Zavala coming in, ready to go. That one high in the air up to the right field area. Campbell under it will make the grab. And that's out number one as Zavala is down. Here is the hot corner third baseman, Blaine Krim. As you know, one guy got hurt. The last third baseman, this will be the reserve third baseman that will come in and take over the hot corner. That one is right there. That's a liner. That is straightaway center. That's a base hit. And up to third now is up be first and third. And Rough Riders have the tie-breaking run 90 feet away from scoring in. That will be a base hit if it does. Here is Yosi Galan as he comes in. That one high in the air right there. And Fabian has it. Here comes the runner and tagging up from third. And the Rough Riders will untie this game. It's now 2-1. 2-1 on the sacrifice fly by Galan. And here's the designated hitter, Marcus Smith. Smith coming in, ready to go. Takes in a strike, it's 0-1. Boy, sun and clouds starting to get that orange hue. And that's pretty good to have a evening sunset the way that is. So right there, the count now 0-2. In the pitch. That one high in the air, and that is foul again. He's got to absolutely love the evening ball games. Here's the pitch. That one right there, out of play. 2-1 the score. Rough Riders up by 1 run. They lead it. Runner at first, 2 away. 0-2 count to Smith. Still fighting back, and that is out of play foul. And the count now 0-2. Pitch. That one high and outside, 1-2. I'll tell you one thing, pretty good. Right there. Here's a 1-2. And that one still fouling off. Smith has really tried to get something going, and literally he's hit every ball and so far trying to get something to hit. Here's a 1-2. That one hit the third baseman Rojas. Flip across to Castañon, and that's the inning. 4.5, a run in to score on a couple of hits, no errors and 1 left. 4.5. Frisco leads it 2-1. Well, Darwellian Cedeno leads off the bottom of the fourth. When we come back in this broadcast, Bottom of the fourth inning, set to go for the Missions Baseball Network. Well, Nerwellian Sedeno coming in and leading off the bottom of the fourth inning. And golly, Bob, look at that. That is a beautiful glow on those clouds. Yeah, I gotta say, John, absolutely beautiful when we look at it. We have a pretty good night thus far. A great crowd on hand for this Friday night, end of a work week. To join us for Missions Baseball, myself and John coming in to you live from Wolf Stadium, San Antonio, Texas. Line drive up to right, that is out of play, and there's one gone. Exactly, Bob. Gotta say, just love evenings like this. We might get another evening like that tomorrow night, right? Well, I sure hope so. With the clouds, that would be a perfect sunset evening. Leo Dallas DeVries stepping in now. And a pitch. That is in for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, a nighttime glow is always pretty. Just absolutely love that. That one, high fly in the air. And that should be called a infield fly rule, but none was issued. So 2 down.
Number 30, Albert Fabian.
Left fielder is Albert Fabian. 1 for 2 in the single as we head back to the top of the San Antonio lineup. Here's the pitch. That one slow roller to second. And he'll pass it to the first baseman, and that's out number 3. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody on base for San Antonio as we played 4 complete here tonight. It's a 2-1 ball game for Frisco. Jax Biggers leads things off for the RoughRiders. When we come back here, it's a 2-1 ball game. Frisco leads it. Well, we're about set to go for the top of the fifth inning for Frisco, right here on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, got to say, Bob, we got an update on Frisco third baseman Caber Rodriguez. They are doing a MRI look on him, and so far he is going to the San Antonio. Yes, they will get the MRI going, and evidently, hopefully, we hope Caber Rodriguez will be all right. We'll definitely keep him in our prayers. We are top of the fifth inning here tonight. Frisco leads 2-1 in this ball game. And so far on a beautiful Friday night, we thank you guys for joining us as we get going. Jack Spiggers, 891, due up in the top of the fifth inning. That one straight away center. Joshua Mears getting after it, and he gets it. That ball is his. It's out.
The catcher, number 28, Tucker Mitchell.
Tucker Mitchell, the catcher for Frisco, leads it in this one. And the pitch. That one right there and in. And that's the count now at 0-1. 41 strikes, 1 ball, 42 is the count for Isaiah Lowe. 90% of his fastballs have been for strikes tonight, which is very amazing. We got to love our pitcher, Isaiah Lowe, pitching for the San Antonio Missions.
Second baseman,
And pretty good right there. That will bring in a home runner, Cameron Cawley. 1 for 2 home run RBI. The only run that he scored in the top of the first inning for the RoughRiders. And so far, pretty good on that. Yeah, I got to say, John, absolutely right. He was the first guy that hit a home run, and boy, he really got it going. Yeah, he sure did. Here's the 0-1 right there out of play. And that's the count now, 0-2. RoughRiders lead 2-1 ball game. And so far, they're trying to get everything they can to win another, as they did last night, winning 12-7. Frisco winning 12-7. That was a pretty good one right there. Boy, tell you one thing, really good. But right there, a pitch clock violation will make it 1 ball and 2 strikes to Isaiah Lowe. And the pitch, that one outside, boy, he nearly chased it. And the count now at 2-2. We're top of the fifth inning. And the pitch, right there, high in the air. Fabian will chase it down, and he's got it for the third and final out here in this fifth inning. So no runs, hits, or errors, no one on for Frisco. As we're 5.5 here tonight, it's 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Ethan Salas leads it off for San Antonio when we come back. All right, about set for the bottom of the fifth. Right now, the Mission's Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Ethan Salas coming in now as tying run coming up to the plate now. That is right there. Slow roller to the second baseman to first.
The center fielder.
And that is
14,
out number one. Joshua Mears coming in. Set to go 1 for 2 and a single. And that's a strike inside. It's 0-1 the count now. And that's a base hit to center. And that is a 1-out single for Joshua Mears.
Number 6, Marco Castaneda.
So pretty good right there as he gets in, and now the tying run now at first base. First baseman Marcos Castañon hits one high fly in the air. First pitch up and in, and that's a out right there at the center field area. Two down.
Number 7.
So anyway, pretty good on that one. And here's right fielder Jacob Campbell as he takes a slider inside for a count now, 0-1. Top of the sixth inning is straight ahead for the RoughRiders. And that one is lifted deep to left near the warning track, and that's the inning. So it is no runs, hits, or errors. Well, actually, there was a hit and one left. We head to the sixth inning, and RoughRiders lead it by 2-1. Kellen Strom leads things off, top of six, and we come back. All right, top of the sixth inning, set to go for the Rough Riders, the Missions Baseball Network. Well, anyway, here is Kellen Strom as we get to go here in the ball game, and we're underway in the count now, 0-1. Nighttime upon us on this Friday night. That one's going to be a bunt right there. Rojas right to Castagnon, and boy, beautiful play right there. And they got him easily.
Ortiz.
Boy, and tell you one thing, that was a beautiful play. Yeah, I got to say, John, absolutely right. And so far, that is a play that would go down in the history books of the Texas League. Yeah, for sure. Right there, Rojas again passes it to Castagnon, and they're 2 down.
Number 13, Aaron Zavala.
Aaron Zavala coming in now as the right fielder for Frisco. 1 for 2 and a single. Here's the pitch. That one is in, a changeup, and the count now 0-1. The pitch. That one high flying and out of play. And the count now 0-2. Isaiah Lowe now at 53. So love that. That was Herbie's number, 53.
2 strikes.
And a pretty good baseball player out there in the LA Dodgers farm club. And the 1-2. That's right there, and Castagnon steps on the bag, inning over. No runs, hits, errors, and no one on for the Rough Riders as we now head to the bottom of the sixth inning. Rotary Rojas and Cedeno will lead it off when we come back. We have a new one for Frisco when we return back to our live stream here. And we're on now to the bottom of the sixth inning. So 2-1 our score. Frisco still leads this game by 1. Well, we do apologize for being off for that long. And so far, we're about ready to go in the next half inning of this ball game. I do apologize, Bob. Oh, that's okay, John. I know you're talking to your stepmom. And yeah, you ought to stay in touch with family members. Yeah, that is for sure. Well, leading off the bottom of the sixth, Matt Festa is on the mound for the RoughRiders as he's the right-hander. He's an ERA 570, 24 strikeouts, 400 over a 224, and pretty good on that. Designated hitter Cole Roederer coming in. RoughRiders lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And that's going to be a ground ball. Ground hopper straight to first, and that is out number one.
Now batting, the third baseman, Gentry.
And that'll bring up the next batter up is third baseman Yendry Rojas. Again, we do apologize for being gone for almost 30 minutes, but evidently we are going to continue our live stream. This was literally talking to my stepmother, a lefty and a righty, Clark and Carrillo warming up for the RoughRiders. Crowd chanting and stuff, saying, "Let's go Missions," and that's high fly in the air up to right field. And the right fielder makes the grab, so there's two down.
Now batting, second baseman, Nerwillian.
Well, that'll bring up Nerwillian Cedeno is 1 for 2. Pretty good night thus far, and that is hit high in the air up to the right fielder, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. So that will do for this half of the frame. Top of the seventh inning straight ahead. And it's a 2-1 ball game. Frisco leads it by 1. So we're back here with Blaine Krim as we lead off the top of the seventh inning. When we come back, and this one brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides, our proud sponsor here in San Antonio. Top of the seventh inning set to go right here in the Missions Baseball Network. Hot corner third baseman Blaine Krim coming in this broadcast, and that's an inside strike, and it's 0-1. Well, that will pretty much do for the reliever Isaiah Lowe, as here comes the manager about ready to pull him out of the ball game and give a reliever a chance to go at it this evening. And so far, pretty good on that.
Now pitching for the Mission,
Omar Cruz is getting the
number
call.
60,
A left-hander.
Omar
A four-seam, a curveball, changeup, and a two-seam fastball. Getting in the ball game. In the top of the 7th inning, Cruz will face off Blaine Krim. And he did not hold up in time for a called strike. It's 0-2. Don't forget, join us tomorrow night at 7:05. We bring you the action. And that's going to be right there. Line drive. That's up to the right field area. It will pass Adano. And that is a base hit.
now batting, the left fielder, Yossi Galan.
And that'll bring up the next batter. That is Yossi Galan. Galan coming in, and here's the pitch. That's going to be right there. Line drive up the left field. That's a base hit. So one base hit after another. And Frisco has 2-1, nobody out. So pretty good on that one. Here's the pitch. That one high fly, out of play, foul. And it goes behind the backstop. So far, Marcus Smith getting in and getting going here. And that's going to be high in the air up to center field. Shifting to the right a little bit. And here comes the runner. Advancing from second, going to third.
The batter, the shortstop.
And that is a fly out. First and third here tonight. Here's Omar Cruz, fly out and a ground down. 2-1 RoughRiders. Jack Spiggers coming in, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. We are top of the 7th inning here. And the 0-1 right there and in. They'll try to get him, but not in time, as he will score in a second run.
Catcher, Tucker Mitchell.
Tucker Mitchell coming in now as he's 0 for 2 and 2 flyouts. And the pitch to him. That one high in the air. Rojas coming near the on-deck circle. And so far,
Now batting,
2 down.
Cameron Cawley.
Well, Cameron Cawley, first inning, getting in as he hit a home run to lead off the game. And it was a pretty good home run as we all looked at it. At a 349, 95.1. And the pitch. That one high fly in the air. And that one is out of play. So no balls and 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch. That's a swing and a miss right there. And it's 0-2. Great home crowd tonight, right, Bob? Yeah, it's a great crowd. That one drifted high in the air. And that is gone. And the RoughRiders, second home run today by Cameron Cawley. And it's 6-1 Frisco. Well, I'll tell you one thing, as it did last week with Corpus Christi, Missions, you should need to win 2. It's a Saturday and Sunday game before heading to Midland and so on. Yeah, that is for sure. Here is Kellen Strom. Strom takes in a strike, and it's the count now 0-1. Lined out in the first inning by the center fielder. And that looks to do for Omar Cruz as he'll be out of the ball game. And so far the manager's seen enough And don't blame him as he gets frustrated with the first reliever that gave up a lot of runs. I mean, that one was pretty big. Gave up at least 5 runs. And now we'll see what Jason Blanchard does. Confidence level is key when you get into a ball game. You got to have confidence on the mound that you know you get the job done easily. That one high in the air, up to left field. Fabian makes the grab and the half inning over. But Cameron Cawley will get a 4-run shot. Or should I say a 5-run shot. And that'll put the team up to at least 5 here in this one. Well, shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries will lead it off for San Antonio. When we come back, it's the bottom of the 6th as the Frisco RoughRiders lead it 6-1. Well, 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. And so far, gotta say, John, RoughRiders lead 6-1 in this one. And gotta say, not going too good as getting into this ball game here this evening. And I gotta say, Bob, RoughRiders are up a big one. And so far, they are up by a lot in this one. Well, leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries. As we head to the 7th, and that one's a high pop-up right there, and that should be called an infield fly, but evidently they do not call it right there.
Left fielder, number 30, Albert.
The left fielder, Albert Fabian, is 1 for 3, a single. And the pitch. No balls, 1 strike to the count now. To the left fielder, Albert Fabian. Caber Rodriguez, hopefully he's doing good. And that one is blistered high in the air. That one hits the wall right there. That goes to first, that goes to second. Albert Fabian gets a double meat cheeseburger for everybody on the Fabian double. Boy, and that one should have been over the wall for a home run by him. Man, and I tell you one thing, Bob, you were probably going to be right about that if it did go over, but it hit the base of the wall. But now Ethan Salas could try to get him home. And that's going to be high flying in the air. And nope, he is not going to third. Goes back to second and rethinks what he's fixing to do. There is center fielder Joshua Mears. Bottom of 7-2 away. Runner at second. And he held up, but that's called a strike. And it's 0-1. And the pitch. That one outside on a sweeper, and it's 1-1. 6-1 Rough Riders in the bottom of 7. That one is hard hit right there, and that is final out. No runs on a hit, no errors, and they leave one stranded at second. Top of the 8th inning coming up. It's 6-1 Rough Riders in this ball game. Abimelech Ortiz leads things off when we come back here in this ball game. Well, we are the top half of the 8th inning right here on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, here is Abimelech Ortiz as he leads things off. Top of the 8th for Frisco. And the pitch is inside for a strike. It's 0-1 as we're underway. Top of the 8th inning here in San Antonio. Bob, you can take over and we'll let you go for some. Oh, thank you, dear John. You're sitting there nicely quiet. Oh, thanks. All right, hey, y'all, this is Bob. Here's Abimelech Ortiz. As he hits one foul. And the count now 0-2. Still hanging on. Blanchard at 4 pitches. Ortiz at a 1 and a 3. Here tonight. That's going to be right there. And that's a line straight to right fielder Campbell. And he's got it for the out. There you go, John. What a beautiful play. Yeah, I got to say, right on, Cowboy. Right fielder for Frisco is Aaron Zavala. Zavala coming in. Rojas, groundhopper, straight to Castañon, and he's got him for out number 2.
Now batting, the third baseman, Blaine.
Pretty good play right there, Bob, I would say. Very good. Third baseman, Blaine Krim, covering for the injured teammate, Caber Rodriguez, as he was exited out of the ball game due to some pain, and he gets in there and covers for his teammate there at third base. So hopefully Rodriguez is okay. We'll definitely keep him in our prayers, and hopefully he'll be all right. That is for sure, Bob. We need to keep him and the team of the RoughRiders in prayer. You know, right there, that is a right field base hit, just shy of the foul line. And there is a 2-out base runner. Here is Yosi Galan. Galan coming in, he's set to go. And the pitch right there, down and in, a strike. And it's 0-1. Single, a 1-for-2 by the left fielder. Blanchard waits in, and here's the stretch. And that's inside the corner. Knee angle at 0-2 the count now. And the pitch. That one called third strike. And that will pretty much put them on ice, as they can't get that runner on second into scoring position. Bottom half of the 8th inning, it is 6-1. RoughRiders lead the San Antonio Missions by 5. We're back here at the ballpark for more, and John will be back and stuff. Well, Bob, I was asking if you would like to go another half inning of play, and I'll close her out right after that. How about that? Okay. That sounds like fun. I'll do that. So we'll be right back as we get things going for the bottom half of the 8th inning. Straight ahead, you're listening to Missions Baseball Network, or here on YouTube Live. And we'll be right back. All right, set to go for the bottom half of the 8th inning. Right now on the San Antonio Missions Baseball Network.
Pitching for Frisco.
Well, Mark Church coming in as he will be called upon to pitch a right-hander. We'll get the call for the RoughRiders here in tonight's broadcast.
Leading off for the mission.
Well, bottom of 8, and Marcos Castañon will lead it for San Antonio here this evening. And the pitch. That one right there, that's a slow roller. Right to third, to first, and that is out number 1.
Now batting.
Boy, a big ouch right there, Bob, as that was pretty much a wasted base hit opportunity right there. There indeed. Jacob Campbell coming in and is ready to go here this evening. 6-1 RoughRiders, they lead by 5 against San Antonio, and tonight if they win, that will be 5 games that San Antonio would have to trail. Right there, liner straight away, up to left field, that's a base hit. So pretty good right there as they come in.
Designated hitter, Cole Roederer.
And that'll bring in Cole Roederer as he leads off the bottom half of the 8th inning here. And that's a high outside ball, and the count now 1-0 to the designated hitter. Roederer 1 for 3 in a single. So pretty good right there. I know John and myself, we were off for a good 30 minutes during the broadcast. He had to talk to his stepmother, right? Yeah, I sure did. I do feel guilty about doing that, though. But anyway, in the middle of our broadcast, I just wanted to see how my parents were doing. I mean, they did go up to Fort Stockton, Texas.
Now batting,
they got home today. Gotta say, John, I'm glad if your family's doing all right. That's pretty good, too. Yeah, we talked about tornadoes, too. Oh, y'all did? Yeah. We talked about severe weather. We talked about a lot of stuff. And evidently, that's what all of us need to be alert on when it comes to severe weather. That is for sure, John. Wow, look at that. 4,445 in tonight's game. That's pretty remarkable for the end of the week, or end of the work week, I should say. Yeah, it's the end of people working. Now it's time to chill out, relax, and enjoy the birthday weekend, right? Yeah, for sure. That one right there, and that's getting down a base hit. Boy, and San Antonio trying to get back up in the foot race here. So if San Antonio loses this one, it'll be 5 games for the RoughRiders that they be up at first place. Yeah, that's for sure, Bob. And if San Antonio can end up winning this one, it would be at least 4 games that they trail the RoughRiders. And right there, swing and a miss, getting him off stride for that pitch. And it's the count now, 0-2. And we're going to have some time being called, as that will pretty much signal the home plate umpire. And yeah, we are having a little internet disturbances. And yeah, we'll see what's going on. Yeah, for sure, Bob. Yeah, internet just went down, and we'll get it back up and running. Hopefully that will pretty much do it right there. Hopefully it does. And yeah, there we go. Okay, we are back up and running. So we head back to the ball game. No balls, 2 strikes, 2. As he comes in. That one down and in, 1-2 the count now. Looking to get an in this ball game, and here's the pitch. That one is lifted high in the air and up to right, and that is going to drift out of play, foul. So Nerwillian gets another one here. Here's the 1-2, and that one fouled in the way. The boys still hanging on that one. One more time. Here comes the pitch from Church, and that's going to be right there. Liner up to right field. That's a base hit, and that will put in a bases loaded jam, third time tonight for San Antonio. And that'll bring up John Baker's favorite guy. Here is Leodalis DeVries. DeVries coming in, and that's going to be lifted high in the air up to right field. The right fielder will range and make the play, and that does it. The inning is over. No runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave the bases loaded. We head to the 9th, and it is 6-1, as Smith, Biggers, and Mitchell will lead it off for the 9th inning. We're back after this. John will take it over as we start the top of the 9th. When we get back from break. Well, about set to go for the top of the 9th inning. for the Frisco RoughRiders. Here's John Baker. Thank you, Bob. And again, we're ready to go. Marcus Smith coming up now for Frisco. And that's a pitch inside for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch. That one fouled off. And it's 0-2. Boy, Bob, you did pretty good for us here in the live stream. I'm going to have to get you to help out more. Well, I am your partner, so I would love to do that. Okay. Here's a 1-2. Swing and a miss right there, and down he goes.
Now batting, the shortstop.
So bottom of the 9th inning, San Antonio might get back up in there. Here's the shortstop, Jax Biggers. Biggers coming in, and that's a down inside strike, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 right there. Slow roller to DeVries, right there to Castagnon.
The catcher,
and that is out number 2 as Biggers goes down, and Frisco catcher Tucker Mitchell getting one more call up to the batter's box.
Ball, that's off the plate.
And that is off the plate for the ball to count now at 1-0. Is off the plate for... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I didn't know that was on. But anyway, we know now. High in the air up to right field. Campbell will get there. And that will do for this half inning. Bottom of the 9th inning. San Antonio will have 3. Fabian Salas and Mears will lead it off for San Antonio as we head to the bottom of the 9th. So we'll be right back after this. A new arm will get things going, and that will be in there. So 6-1 our score as the Mission's up, or the RoughRiders, I do apologize. Frisco up 6-1 in this ball game. So we're back here with more as we lead off the bottom of the 9th for San Antonio. 6-1 RoughRiders. Well, about set for the bottom of the ninth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network.
Now pitching for Frisco.
Andy Rodriguez coming in as he's the right-hander that'll get the door shut in this one. And so far, we are about ready to do that in this one.
Leading up for San Antonio, the
left fielder Albert Fabian getting in a 2 for 4, a double and a single here this evening. That is a inside strike, and the count now 0-1. Mission's trying to limit the damage after giving up the 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning. And that is out of play foul. So now Fabian down in the count 0-2. RoughRiders trying to claim game 4 here in San Antonio. That one right there and out of play and still hanging on. 6-1, bottom of 9. And that one is well crushed. That one high, and that's going to be dropped right there. And the ball's getting away. And he has a triple. Look at that. By golly. Albert Fabian leadoff triple. And he got that one going. Yeah, missed the ball. And here's the next batter, catcher Ethan Salas. And that one is drilled. That one deep. And that's going to hit the base of the wall. And that's going to ground into a ground rule double. Now the Missions have another run on the board as that will be a 6-2. Here is center fielder Joshua Mears. Mears coming in, and that's going to be right there. That's a ground ball to third, to first, and that's out number 1.
Now batting, the first baseman, Marcos Castanon.
Marcos Castanon, 2 for 4 and 2 singles tonight for San Antonio. And, yep, right inside a called strike. And that one is 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one is high in the air. And that one is out of here. And Marcos Castanon getting a home run tonight. And he clears the bases. It's now a 6-4 ball game. Well, 338 and 97.5 exit velocity. And that was a pretty good fastball right there. And that's going to be the time where the manager will come out. And so for the reliever, so far pretty good on that as well.
Now pitching for Frisco, number 81, Luis Corvello.
And that'll bring up Luis Corvello as he comes in. 1 away and nobody on. Bottom of 9, Jacob Campbell up to the plate. And he bunts his way, and that is out of play foul. Right there and inside for a count now, 0-2.